This is my third night going to the My Chemical Romance concert, and I just gave a little bit of the rundown in my October predictions video that I just finished. But yeah, I'm going alone, and it feels a little bit full circle because this was the room that I would have been listening to that in mainly. I had a record player, but that record player is now in storage in New York, and I would like blast the Black Parade when I thought my dad wasn't home, but he was just quiet, and he knew I was doing it apparently. And now I have a new fondness for Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge. That album is also great, but here's a little bit of a fit check before I leave, I guess. Because we don't want to leave that out. This video is going to be on the 12th house profection year because I feel like it's something that people talk about a lot, and I have not done a transit on profection year. But before that, this top is way too big for me. It's literally falling down. It does not tighten enough, so I feel like the whole time I'm like pushing my rib cage out, which looks a little weird, but like I'm the queen of wearing things that are uncomfortable because it gives me something to do basically. Then these shorts are from Fashion Nova. I was gonna wear fishnets with them, but like no, they're very tight. The zipper broke, but it still goes up enough to hang on. These came with the top, and then I'm wearing my Parts of Four necklace, and I'm in my Gucci shoes, so that's that. It just kind of all goes. I'm going to be wearing my red Chanel bag with it. But let's get into the 12th house perfection year. So if you're new, perfection years are when you take someone's chart and you count around the chart 1 year per house. So I was born on October 24th, 1998, and because of that, I entered a first house perfection year when I was born. I entered a second house perfection year when I turned 1. So basically 0 to 1 is first house, 1 to 2 is second house, 2 to 3 is third house. Like you keep going down the line until you get to your age. And every 12 years, you're going into a first house year. But that means that before every 12 years, you're in a 12th house perfection year. And the 12th house is the challenging house. It is associated with internal afflictions. It's associated with mental health issues. It's associated with isolation, with being locked up abroad, even in a very literal way. Like you are trapped in an uncomfortable environment. That is the 12th house. The positive manifestations of the 12th house are internal spiritual growth. They are isolation, like being a monk or being an ascetic, being someone very stoic who's alone a lot. That can be a positive 12th house. But the 12th house itself, there's no sugarcoating it. If someone is in my comments arguing about how great the 12th house is, they're usually mentally ill. There's no way around it. And I say this as someone with a stellium in the 8th house. That's another challenging house. So there are good things that can come out of the 12th house, but the initial circumstances are generally challenging. So each perfection year describes how that year of life corresponds to let me explain this more clearly. Back up. Well, I'm mold suffering in this house right now before I head out. Each perfection year puts that year of life into the house circumstances. So if it's a first house perfection year like I am in now, I just turned 24, it is a year about me showing up, being seen. Next year, as a 25-year-old, will be a second house perfection year. That year will focus on income, finances, earning money. 26 will be a third house perfection year. That will be a year focused on direct day-to-day routine and communicating and writing something daily and people I see on a day-to-day basis, busy, busy, busy. 27 will be a fourth house perfection year of settling down, of home, of family. And also the fourth house perfection year is the 27 club. It's not the Saturn return. The fourth house can be the end of the matter. It's usually the start and the beginning of things. It's our family and it's our end game. So obviously do not come at me with, oh no, I turned 27. Are you an idiot? Most people lived at 85. Obviously, not everyone joins the 27 club. It's something to worry about. But when someone has a really, really difficult fourth house on top of really, really difficult things, it's usually corresponding with the fourth house perfection year. Which is not inherently difficult, but it can represent someone's ending if there's other things going on. So the 12th house is more overtly difficult. The fourth house is not a bad house at all. It's when someone has difficult things combined with it that 27 tends to be a bingo year kind of thing. So the 12th house being mental health issues, isolation, fatigue, alone, addictions, internal battles. I literally just decided as I was opening up the camera that I was going to do 12th house perfection year. I was going to do Uranus in the first house. I'll do that another time. It's not something I can speak to, so I try to do those later after I do the ones that I can speak to. You're alone, and it's difficult. And Blink-182 is not lying when they said nobody likes you when you're 23, because it can feel like an incredibly solo year. So I did not go through my suicidal, I want to kill myself because everyone hates me and thinks I'm every name, like Obic in the book, basically ism Obic, you name it, I was thrown at me. That was not 12th house, that was 11th house. And for me, 11th house was more challenging. This is why. The houses that are ruled by the malefic out of sect in your chart, I believe, are more challenging than the 12th house profection year, unless the 12th house profection year is ruled by the malefic out of sect. So in day charts, the malefic out of sect is Mars. In night charts, the malefic out of sect is Saturn. The signs ruled by Mars are Aries or Scorpio. If you have an 11th house, if your profection year is the house of Aries or Scorpio in a daytime chart, that's going to be more challenging. If you are a night chart and you're going through a Capricorn or Aquarius profection year, that's going to be more challenging, as well as the house that contains that planet. So if you're going through the profection year of the sign that contains Mars, or if you're going through the profection year of the house that contains Saturn on a day or a night chart, if it's activating Mars or Saturn, day chart or night chart, that's going to be more challenging. Unless the 12th house is doing that, then that's going to make it increasingly challenging. I say this because my 11th house profection year was the year that everything blew up for me. It was horrible. It was just everything stopped. My business stopped. I had in-person relationships that were great, but the 11th house is networking, publicity, and audience, and it was activating Mars. So that was the year that was much more difficult for me. 12th house perfection year started August 2021 until August 2022, and it was a very traveling alone year. That's the way I would describe it. Like, I was abroad a lot of the year. I was very alone in hotel rooms a lot of the year, and that was a perfect description for 12th house perfection year. It was challenging because it is challenging being alone, especially in places that you're not from, but my 12th house is ruled by Jupiter. I have a really well-placed Jupiter, so I won't complain about the 12th house itself. The 12th house is inherently lonely, I will say. It does not mean that you are very saddened by that loneliness. I can say that I'm okay by myself. I'm an extrovert, but I'm very used to being alone. That did not bother me. I'd say what bothered me of the 12th house was feeling like I was alone in my own thoughts a lot of the time, and that no one was going to understand what I was going through because it was so weird and niche. So I think the theme of being in contact with your demons and alone with your thoughts makes sense. I don't have any addictions. I don't have anything that's, I guess you could say, a diagnosed mental health issue, but it was a year where after the crisis, I guess, died down, the wanting to die didn't, and I'm really like not in that headspace now. I'm honest about when I am. I think that it's helpful to be honest. I'm not at all now. I'm okay. I'm not okay. Sorry. Okay. I am not in the headspace now, but when that year did go through, it was like, okay, nothing is happening in my life anymore. I am alone. I'm not getting opportunities. I am not in the large part, or they fall through. I am alone, living off of hotel points in hotel rooms. I am trading alone in my room to make sure that I can, like, pay this or that. I am just doing so much alone, like, I am by myself. And it was a little bit peaceful. It was not the 11th house of, like, just literal violence every day, just everywhere all day, but it wasn't exciting. And that sounds weird. As someone who was traveling the world, doing all these things, people were like, your life must be so exciting. And I was accused of just like really disgusting things I wanted to hide from. Like, I'll keep talking about it. It is insane how many people that I know online went along with this. She's only in Dubai because she's sleeping with royalty there. Like, it was very strange to feel like no one was hearing me be like, I'm literally alone in a hotel room, like in a corner. Like, there's no one in here with me, and I don't do that, and I'll never go back to Dubai in the same way again. If I do go back, which I don't know if I will anytime soon, because I just don't really want to, like, it's sad because that's the place that number one, like, felt like home to me, and I know that every time I go, it just blows up online, and I'm not someone who directly anymore can be like, oh, Nana, you hurt me, but it's when it's going to investor meetings, when people are saying, I don't want to invest because I heard this, like, that's when I could sue people for defamation, but they're anonymous Pepes online, so I can't. So I felt very lonely because it was like, I'm alone in a room, hiding from these people, hiding from, like, everyone. So it was a very alone year, and it wasn't bad. It was not nearly as bad as the malefic out of sect being activated by my 11th house Scorpio year. So the 12th house is nothing to fear. It is simply something to understand that it is a very internal time, that if you have addictions or mental health issues, they're likely to come up. For me, I do isolate when I'm really going through something, and I can see that may have come up, but I was not inherently a year where I was like, oh wow, like this is the most challenging time of my life in a very visceral way. It was just a very solitary inward year, and if you have a well-placed 12th house ruler, like kind of me, it's not something where the mental health or the isolation is going to be the particularly challenging part. I think that it's simply the feeling that no one likes you, because that was a theme that came up a lot, was that, like, in real life, if I'm really honest with myself, like everyone I meet, and I've never had someone dislike me in real life, or at least tell me, or like I get along really well with everyone, and I love meeting people, and I'm really extroverted, and I'm not someone that, I'm a Libra moon, I don't do drama, conflict. If I don't vibe with you, I doubt that we're gonna have even an issue. Like, it's just not gonna, there's gonna be no friction ever. So the difficulty was like me being like, oh, I don't think anyone likes me, but like knowing deep down that everyone did, but me feeling like I couldn't act like it. It was a very strange combination of feeling more shy than usual, I'd say. So the 12th house, I'd say, is a shyer, more internal year. It's a period of much more inflection, reflection, of confronting your demons if you have any. It is not a year of, like, I felt like I had so many opportunities to party around the world, and all I got was no sleep. I didn't get, I didn't get high. I didn't get, like, none of these, I just, like, didn't get any sleep. Not that I don't use certain things. Like, I think I'm a big proponent of psychedelics for certain people, but, like, I never had an experience that was like, oh, wow, all these people were, like, tripping balls, and here I am. It was always like, I just missed sleep. Like, let me just go to sleep. Like, I missed out for nothing. Or I missed out on sleep for nothing. That kind of thing. So that is my 12th house explanation, is that it is the inner end of the cavern. It is a very solitary, very internal, facing your demons, facing your mind year. It can be beautiful for things like meditation or yoga. I say this, but it's the year I took off meditation, yoga. I was just like, let me just live my life. I'm now kind of back. First house profection year is much more, here I am, laugh at me, cringe at me, whatever the fuck, here I am. It's much less, I need to hide. So that's that. Hope that this was helpful. Hope that this was something that can resonate with those of you who are 23, who are 35, 47, the list keeps going. And yeah, I'm gonna try to get a thumbnail shot so I don't have to edit it out. So I want to do something that can, maybe not, maybe we just get a thumbnail shot that was already in the video. Anyway, if you have any transit video ideas, do let me know down below. I am going to do a video on Iran and on the astrology of facial appearance and the astrology of style, because I do think that that's something that a lot of people are asking for and would like. So do let me know down below how your 12th house perfection year went, if you have already gone through it, or if you're 22 and about to. Good luck to you, and I will see you in the next one.